Hi, I'm Lanny and this is Preserving Today. Today I want to talk about different ways that I preserve my garlic harvest. Now, the first way is so obvious you might be thinking, why do you need to preserve garlic? Because it preserves itself. And you're right, if you get an intact bulb of garlic, you can pretty much just throw that on the counter and it'll last a really long time before it starts sprouting. But what happens if your garlic harvest is less than exciting? What happens if it started to get soft, if it stayed in the ground too long, if you didn't cure it right, or it has little holes from bugs? Is it a total loss? Well, it wasn't for me. The first year we grew garlic, it was amazing. There were these giant cloves and they were easy to peel, and the bulbs of garlic were beautiful and they stored well. And the way we preserved it that year was just to get these cotton mesh bags that I found on Amazon and put garlic in it, and I hung them up so that they weren't sitting on anything, and I left them in the basement where it's cool. That lasted for about 9 months before they started to sprout. After it sprouted, I still used it. I just removed the green sprout, which can be kind of bitter. Besides just storing it in a cool, dark place, there's other ways to preserve garlic and ways that you might want to do just for convenience reasons. Garlic toum, or garlic toum, spelled T-O-U-M, is a sauce, I believe Lebanese, that's just made from an oil, garlic, salt, and lemon juice. That's it. The lemon juice and the salt and the oil all work to help preserve the garlic. Yes, it needs to be kept in the fridge afterwards, but this garlic paste will last in the refrigerator for years. I have garlic toum in the refrigerator right now that is well over 1.5 years old, and it's still good. It's really easy to make. You just peel your garlic, put it in your food processor, drizzle in the oil, add a little salt and lemon juice. You can see exactly how to do that on my other video here, how I make garlic toum. This was one of the early videos that I made with a very different style, and then I have how I do it now, and I think it's wonderful because it really shows how quick it is and easy it is to whip it up. Once you've made your garlic toum, it stores in the fridge, great, and you can use it anywhere you would want to use raw garlic. The only thing you want to be careful of is don't add it straight to a hot pan like you would when you're cooking oil or butter, because it'll burn. Garlic burns easy, and if you're using olive oil like I like to, it's also a low smoke point. So you want to mix that into something later in a recipe instead. I stir it into stews, chilies, sauces, anything I want to use raw garlic for, and I don't want to peel and chop my garlic. Another way to preserve your raw garlic is to make raw garlic honey, and I also have a video on how I do this. You can either chop or use your cloves whole after you've peeled them, cover them in raw honey, and this will sit and ferment. There's some tricks to flipping the jar around and letting the bubbles out that form so that you don't have CO2 build up and explode your jar or make a huge mess. Watch my video for those little details. And the garlic honey will last for such a long time. Like, I have some that's 2 years old and it's really, really good for stir fry sauce. And I have some that's still sweet and it has a totally different flavor, and it's good if you have a cold or you mix it with butter and then put that on cornbread. It's so good. Honey fermented garlic is a simple and easy way to make your garlic last a long time while also making this convenient condiment to have on hand to add to all sorts of different recipes. Now I want to talk about freezing. Using your freezer, yes. So when we grew garlic this last year, I was pregnant. I didn't get it out of the ground in time. We had heavy rains. By the time we pulled it out of the ground, the paper was soft. It didn't dry out well. Things started to look like they were going to rot. And I knew if I left that in the pantry in the basement, it would not survive 8 or 9 months like it did the last time. So we decided to take on the arduous task of painstakingly peeling every single one of those cloves and cutting away or tossing anything that looked bad, keeping all of the good ones. Then I just laid these out on wax paper on a cookie sheet and flash froze them in my freezer, and then moved those garlic cloves into a big Ziploc bag. That Ziploc bag is now staying in my freezer, and anytime I need fresh garlic, I just pull them straight out of the freezer. The nice part is that you don't have to plan ahead because it actually is soft enough to cut even straight from the freezer, and it works really well if you want to grate them like on the fine side of a cheese grater to get really finely cut garlic quickly to put in different things. So if your garlic looks like this, don't cry, just start peeling it. Maybe you should cry because it is a lot of work to peel all that garlic. But then it's done. So this year I'm not peeling any garlic. I'm using toum, I'm using fermented honey garlic, and I'm using the frozen garlic from my freezer. And now I think maybe I won't save that much of it in the pantry, even if it grows nice this year. Maybe I'll preserve them in one of these ways so I can have it on hand to use when I want to. Now, of course, you can ferment garlic. So a lot of our fresh garlic went into making our fermented dill pickles, which I also have a video on how I made those, and other ferments. That's it for today. Hopefully we'll have better luck with our garlic this year, but either way, I'll make the best of whatever we get and find a way to preserve it. I'm Lanny. This was Preserving Today.